Nuclear power doesn't just potentially harm the environment, in many cases, actually harm the environment, but it also has a potential terrorism component to it right here in the United States. Kevin Kamps breaks it down. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Frequently get people calling into this program saying there are safe forms of nuclear power that don't require backup generators and don't require elaborate cooling systems. There are these pebble reactors, which sounds kind of cute, like maybe the way you decorate your backyard. And there's thorium reactors, and they're all good. What do you say?
Oh, we disagree. I mean, the pebble bed modular reactors, as they're so called, actually one of them in Germany had a large-scale radioactive release that they tried to conceal behind the Chernobyl accident because of the timing of the German and Ukrainian accidents. So pebble beds can have accidents. Thorium has nuclear weapons proliferation risks associated with it that are even worse than the uranium fuel chain. So we're very skeptical of all these pie-in-the-sky ideas that actually a lot of them, including thorium, date back to the 1940s. So they have tried to deploy these technologies. It hasn't worked for a lot of reasons, from economics to weapons proliferation to unsolvable waste streams.
But the promise of all of this is incredibly seductive, right? That you can just, we're all used to mining coal out of the ground and burning it, but it goes away pretty fast. But if you could mine a radioactive substance out of the ground and put it in a box and have it generate heat and generate electricity for centuries, that seems really kind of cool if it could be done. Is there any way to do nuclear fission safely that we know of? And what about the possibility of nuclear fusion, of using hydrogen and binding atoms to each other rather than splitting them apart?
No, I don't think there are safe ways to do nuclear. A joke would be a 100-foot thick titanium reactor vessel, but that would cost trillions of dollars. It's not economic to do nuclear safety. That's why we have these bad designs. They tried to make it affordable to do, and it's still not affordable. It's off the charts expensive. I'm glad you brought up the mining, whether it's uranium or thorium. The uranium mining in the American Southwest, for example, has devastated the Navajo Dene country, the Pueblo country, and those indigenous peoples also in Canada and elsewhere around the world. They have borne the brunt of the hazards of uranium mining. And it's ironic, as Dr. Arjamaka. Well, uranium is a natural substance, but it is toxic. It is a toxic heavy metal. It's also radioactive. It even is a hormone disruptor. And so because the uranium mining and milling wastes were just dumped willy-nilly in the environment in places like the Four Corners, the people who live there, who are Navajo, Dene, and Pueblo, have borne the brunt of the health damage to their genetics, even in terms of cancer. A lot of the miners were sent down into the mines. These are Native American miners without respiratory protection, and they died young. And so there are whole communities of widows and orphans who lost the men in their cultures, in their societies, to avoidable radiation exposures. But it was cheaper and easier just to send them down into the mine and not warn them what the dangers were.
Wow. We've been seeing that for a long, long time. We're talking with Kevin Kamps, the nuclear waste specialist at Beyond Nuclear. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about New Mexico and consolidated interim storage and tech.